Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Nicole Dilemmas show. Today I'm going to be answering some dilemmas. I absolutely love today's dilemmas, mostly because I see this question come up recurringly throughout every age group in life. I have it with people who are in their 20s, I see it with my friends who are in their 30s, and I've even seen people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s ask the same questions. And that is, should I stay in the safety of my job or should I turn my life around, but I feel like I'm too old? And so this gets me thinking, because at what point do we think we're too old? Just a little anecdote, but my grandmother lived to 99 and a half. I'm 33, right? She has lived 3 of my lives. She's lived an extra 2 of what I have already lived. And so, and I know that we're not all going to live to 99 and a half, but even if we live to 75, 80, I still have double the amount of time of what I've already lived to do more. And for the majority of that, I was actually a child. So really, my life probably started when I was 20, if we're really honest. So that's only 13 years of me doing something for myself. And so I don't know how old you are, you're watching this video, maybe you're in your 20s, maybe you're in your 30s, maybe you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, but I think we all have that same fear that it's too late. And let me tell you, it is not too late. So without further ado, today we're going to be answering Dear Nicole Dilemmas. Dear Nicole, I've been offered my dream job. It's in a new city and I won't be getting paid as much. In fact, I'm actually going to be scaling down on what my responsibilities are. I actually have too much experience for this particular job, but it will allow me to go into a new direction that I really want to go in. It will literally light me up. Meanwhile, I've got this solid job right now. It has great benefits. It's close to my family and it could potentially give me the opportunity to move to America, which is where my boyfriend is. So they could potentially sponsor my visa. However, they still haven't done that even 2 years down the line of them potentially and flirting with the idea of being able to do that. Everyone says that I would be crazy to leave, but I know that my dream job is what's going to set my soul on fire. What do I do? Okay, this is a video on self-trust, risk-taking, and decision-making under pressure. So here's the thing. When we say yes to ourselves and that alignment, I truly am the believer that the world will slot in accordingly and everything will fall into place as it should. When we are in a situation where we are on this constant cognitive dissonance, negative thinking because we hate our job, or negative thinking because we're not doing the thing we love, or constantly worrying about what would be if I actually committed to the thing that I want to do, we end up with this internal turmoil, this kind of like narrative that's fighting against itself. And the problem with that is that you get this separation of who you are, these 2 versions of you that are fighting back and forth, trying to reason with yourself as to why you should keep staying stuck in this job that you don't like. And yes, the new job maybe doesn't pay as well, but as you said, it's going to quite literally set your soul on fire. And I know that it's hard because it's easy for me to say that. I'm sitting on this side of the camera giving the advice, but you're the one that's having to take that leap of faith. But if I've learned anything in life, is that the world commends our courage. And that is because your brain is now primed to live in abundance and be able to receive. And I promise you, when you're living in alignment, you will do everything you can to make sure that it will work out, because you will also be happy. If you're doing that with a job you hate, imagine what you could be doing with a job you love. Oh, I love that question. Dear Nicole, so as you guys know, I've themed all of these dilemmas together. You guys send me loads of dilemmas every single month. I've now themed them. So it's not a coincidence that all these dilemmas are similar. It's the fact that I've collated them all together so that you guys can watch one video on how to risk take and go after your dream life. Dear Nicole, should I follow my passion or should I pay my bills? Good question. I hate my 9 to 5. I feel like I'm wasting my life doing work that doesn't matter to me, but I have bills, a mortgage, and people who depend on me. I want to pursue something meaningful, but is that just irresponsible at my age? I don't know how old you are. You could be 60. You could be 50. You could be 30. The problem with emotional suppression is that at some point, the brakes they give up. So you've got this limbic system responsible for your emotions and making you feel something, both good and bad, right? The good stuff that sets your soul on fire, that makes you feel like you want to get up in the morning, the awe, the motivation, the striving for greatness, for happiness. But you also have that fear, you have all of it encompassed in this limbic system. Then you've got the default mode network, responsible for mind wandering and creativity. And this is where the good stuff happens. When we suppress our emotions, we also suppress that default mode network. That default mode network is responsible for making you dream big. And when it works in alignment with the emotional brain, the limbic system, those two can create a powerful force. You know that movie scene, like main character moment that you live in your life? That's those two working synergistically together. But when we are in a place that we are not happy, you're in a job that you hate, you are suppressing who you actually are. And when you suppress who you are, the circuitry in that default mode network becomes dysregulated. It starts to rewire itself in a way that starts to upregulate ruminative thinking, negative self-referential information. It also starts to upregulate all those kind of ugly feelings, you know, that jealousy when you look at someone who's doing the thing that you want to be doing. They're not taking that away from you. It's permission. And the problem is that the more we reinforce these thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, the more we become stuck in this rut. I'm smiling because I know someone close to me that's actually kind of, I think, going through something similar. So I hope they're watching this. When your brain is aligned with purpose, there's a neurococktail of chemicals that push you to becoming greater. I mean, name one person that's doing the thing they love that don't look like they are literally on fire with passion and pride. Yes, it's hard, but it's also hard doing that 9 to 5 you hate, right? So yes, I know that paying the bills is a big part of it. Now, the way that I see it is there's going to be a transition period. In that transition period, you're going to have to take on more than you think you can take. And it's that ugly space, that in between. That means that you either end up doing both, take on a part-time job so that you can do the dream you want, and you're going to feel tired, you're going to feel burnt out, but it's going to be for a reason. What's that saying? It is a blessing to be tired in pursuit of your own passions. Something like that. My best friend literally just posted that. I should probably pay more attention. And it's almost like when you are wanting to expand your business, you hire someone. You know you're going to take that financial hit for the first few months because they're going to make you more money in the long run because you'll have more capacity to show up and be who you want to be in your job and not have to do the ugly things like the admin, the bookkeeping, etc. But until then, you're going to have to sit in that sticky period of knowing that it's uncomfortable. And so I don't have a little bit more insight on what your actual situation is, but maybe you could take on a part-time job to go after your dreams. Maybe you could work really hard right now and save up loads of money so that you have some breathing room. Whatever it is, the underlying theme is that you're taking a hit temporarily for the greater good. I felt like the Jedi there. Is it the Jedi? I don't even watch Star Wars. I don't know, it just felt like something he would say. Is it a he? I'm digging a hole here. Get me out of here. And on that note, Dear Nicole, I have a stable life, a good job, a decent salary, friends, a routine, but deep down I feel like I'm meant for something more, something wilder, more creative, more me. I want to quit, travel, build something of my own, but what if I ruin my life chasing a dream that doesn't work out? The way that we speak about a situation, the words, the narratives we use are very, very, very powerful. So I'm going to help you reframe this. You said, but what if I ruin my life? How are you going to ruin your life? Going on an expedition of fun and creativity. Chasing a dream that doesn't work out. What if it does work out? And even if it doesn't work out, does it ever really not work out? Because I always feel like when something doesn't work out, it opens the door to something else, right? It's all just data we're collecting, information about how to navigate this world that, by the way, no one knows how to do properly. And so what does not working out even mean? And I want you to really think about that because we use these words, we use these sentences, and then they limit us. We become boxed into this narrative that says it might not work out. But what does that even mean when you think about it? What if I ruin my life? What if it doesn't go the way you wanted it to? Maybe it goes better, but let's just assume that maybe it doesn't go the way that you want it to. Maybe it is a mistake, right? Putting that in inverted commas. If you had a good job and a decent salary and friends and a routine, you've built that before, so you can build it again. The worst case scenario is you would go back to your corporate job or whatever it is you're doing. I'm assuming you have a corporate job. Most people go after their dream lives to give up the corporate job. But I can guarantee you, call me up in 10 years' time, you are not going back to that job that has a salary. I bet you, your bottom dollar, my bottom dollar, that you're going to come back to me and say, Nick, I did it. Am I right? She's not wrong. Go after your dream life, guys. And so I just want to finish that all by saying is that there's no real time in which we need to do things. We think we need to have it figured out by a certain age. But we can keep refiguring it out over and over again, despite the circumstances, despite the fact that maybe you have kids. Okay, of course, quitting your job when you have children is completely different. But we're constantly rediscovering ourselves. And the research all points to the fact that when we are going after a life with purpose, that part of the brain that ruminates actually diminishes, because you stop to worry about yourself and how you look and how you feel and your thoughts and what people think about you, because you have a purpose. Now your meaning is attached to something grandeur, bigger than you. Purpose shifts your focus from what is wrong with me to I have a purpose in life. And when you have a purpose in life, the smaller things, they mean less. You sweat about them less. Yes, we all care about our appearance, but you start to realize that you have something to give that is beyond the way you look. And another really interesting fact here is that when we have purpose, we are more resilient to pain. This is well grounded in the research. So if we can tolerate physical pain, and we know that physical pain and emotional pain light up the same areas of the brain, that means that we are more emotionally resilient as well. So really, there's no ifs or buts about it. It's more like how. How am I going to do it? That is the question, not whether you're going to, because I know you're going to. You're all going to call me up in 10 years' time and say, Nick, I did it. I remember a time when I was running 2 companies. I was finishing my master's and I was so stressed. But I remember every day thinking, I know this is going to pop. This is going to blow. And the thing is, people saw me on social media blow up. I literally gained like 285,000 followers, quite literally in the space of a month. It was crazy. And it's easy to see that success and think, oh yeah, she got lucky with one post. Yeah, it went viral and I got lucky. But people don't see the 10 years before. The fact that I redid my GCSEs at the age of 25. I redid my A-levels at the age of 26. I redid all of my schooling in my 20s because I failed high school to get into university. I then went and did my undergraduate in neuroscience. I then went and did my master's whilst running 2 businesses. And it was hell. I want you to look back on this one day and say, yeah, it was tough, but I earned it. Guys, I hope you found this helpful. Please like, comment, and subscribe. You'll be helping me grow the channel. And that's it from my end. Keep sending in your dilemmas.